A group that has ruled the country in the way they have elected to rule us for 40 years, bad or good, cannot be disregarded. First of all, we want to understand fully and mark this. Our engagement with the ruling party, we want them to clearly inform the country how they view the transition. The departure of General Museveni is not a question of if or whether, it is imminent. And therefore, we cannot allow the ruling party to collapse on the nation. So we want to engage them on how they construe. I know most of the actors in the ruling party are frightened by the sheer mention of the transition. We want them to start getting used to discussing the transition because it's a must. And if you do not have a conversation about the transition, the country will collapse on them. But we want them to collapse in the sea, not on the nation. So we want to offer them a platform to speak about the possibility of this country transitioning, which is inevitable. We would be a bunch of fools at this stage in the life of this nation if we disregarded the conversation about the transition. The members of the ruling party must be part of this conversation. Some of them are terrible humans, we know them. They have visited violations on our people, but they remain part of Uganda. But like we said, once the country transitions, our intention is not to occasion revenge and retribution, but to allow the country to speak to justice. That we have spoken about, and we insist it should be the best way of building an enduring democracy and a durable constitutional order in this country. I fully appreciate your concern because I know it's not a personal concern. You're a public voice, which I fully appreciate. Mr. Mulwana, aka Alien Skin, is a public pariah. We all know him. I know him. He is a victim. He's not a culprit. Him and others are victims of neglect. Okay, these are young people, extremely gifted young people that have been neglected. And because of that neglect, they choose to be what they are. And when he reached out, he said, I want to be a better citizen. Can you help us be better citizens? And we said, yes, we can. And the contents of the MOU are nothing but to say, we want you to help us in these areas. And in the coming weeks and months, you will see more of him. And I can tell you, we are going to try and turn him into a better citizen. I never grew up with him. I didn't know him. But I used to listen to his music. I could see the young people following him. Any serious leader must be interested in that kind of person. But I've also seen the shenanigans around his life and so many other people. But I can tell you, he is much better than so many actors in public life, including men and women in suits. A man of limited abilities, he needs to be supported and helped, not to be condemned. You know, is there a constituency? Is there a place where goons in this country must be settled? So it's the duty of leaders to reach out to people. You see, we live in a generation of lost people, lost young people. And I want to invite everybody to try and support him. I could see a kind of line from out there, including from serious media actors trying to misdirect the message he gave last time on 6th, deliberately to try and impute. He was explaining his situation, how he ended up in prison, and was juxtaposing it to my situation. And he ended up saying, there are so many innocent people in prison. So I was shocked to see serious media editors deliberately misinforming, misconstructing his message. I can tell you, we are going to support that young man and his people. I know they have so many problems, drug abuse they're dealing with. They're scattered young people, no education, no parentage. It's not easy, but it's better than allowing that generation to descend into the abyss without an attempt. So we are making an attempt, and that attempt must be appreciated. And I cannot roll out that back, okay? Otherwise, If we leave them to the world to judge them and abandon them, we shall have ourselves to blame going forward. And to speak about the issue of joint candidates, yes, I said that the DA, in what we are writing to the political groups and platforms, has two major thrusts. One is electoral and political reforms. Two is what I said, a possibility of electing a joint electoral platform. And I said that's a long-term project that require an up-close conversation to try and understand and appreciate the interest at play. Okay, it's delicate. It will have to involve us roll out a framework, and the framework has not been discussed. So when you roll out a joint electoral platform, you must have a framework to discuss how power can be shared on a joint electoral platform. Those are details. So we haven't discussed them, therefore we cannot speak about them. But it's one of our intentions in the rollout intention to engage. Do we intend to police our servants? When we are ready, we shall inform them. We don't inform our servants first. No, when we are prepared, we shall inform them. Who are we? We are Ugandans. Okay? Every Ugandan can inform the police that I want to have a meeting here. It's not a preserve of registered organizations. You surely know that I'm a lawyer and a good one at that. So I understand fully what the law says, and therefore, at the right time, we shall duly inform the police. We do not intend to have run-ins. We intend to engage with the people, and we want the engagements to be peaceful engagements. But if anybody has intention of fighting with us, that's their business. Our choice is to engage, and we shall inform whoever we desire to inform as the law prescribes. Anything hanging, do that, that's their business. At least we have offered clarification through a platform we believe will best inform the public as to what we intend to do and how we're going to do it. Nti ogwo mulimu gwa muntu yenna okumpa amagezi ani gwe nkolagana naye. Ebintu ebyobufuzi bya bulabe nnyo, birimu obulabe bungi nnyo obusobola okusaanyaawo abantu, families, communities. N'olwekyo abantu b'okolagana nabo kikulu nnyo okukakasa nti ngenda kukola n'abantu bwe bati. Nze muntu asobola okukola n'omuntu yenna kasita tuba nga tukkaanyiza ku principles. Omuntu atalina principles muvuzi bw'okukolagana naye. N'olwekyo nsobola okukolagana naawe nga sikkaanya naawe. Ene bye tutakkaanyaako ne tubikola ki? Ne tubidefininga bulungi. Naye omuntu binda kyalakya aba muzibu okukolagana naye. Omuntu ali awo alinganga amiba, Luganda amiba teriiyo ndowooza. Omuntu muzibu nnyo okukola naye omuntu atategeerekeka. Tomanya ddi lw'atambuza amagulu, tomanyi ddi lw'atambuza mutwe, tosobola kumanya ddi lw'akolagana naye. N'olwekyo enkolagana yange n'abantu ngimanyi. Era nkoze n'abantu ebbanga limaze mu byobufuzi abazibu ennyo. Naye mmanyi engeri y'okukolagana n'abantu si kizibu. Ate nsobola mangu nnyo n'okwetowaliza abantu kasita mba nga mbategedde nti kye baliko bakiriko nti bali mutumalira budde. Munnange owa Simba yabuuziza ku nsonga ya muto waffe Mulwana Patrick, Alien Skin. Enkolagana yaffe naye eneeba etya, muntu wa ngeri tategeerekeka. Abantu bangi abatategeerekeka n'abambadde amasuuti n'amakanzu n'amataayi bangi bakifuula nnenge. Naye Alien Skin kifaananyi ky'abavubuka abato abataaweebwa budde na mukisa kuwumbibwa kubajja mu bantu abategeerekeka. Ayinza obutafuuka nze oba bukuneefaanaanyirizaako, naye yasaba ayambibweko abeeko naye byakyusa. Ndowooza naye gy'atambudde nga yesittala nga yeekoona alina by'asanze nga yeetaaga okuyambibwa. Si kya buvunaanyizibwa oli bw'ajja nti neetaaga okuyambibwako n'ogamba nti tujja kukuyamba, olina ebizibu bingi. kikulu nnyo ng'abakulembeze okutunulira abaana abo nga bannayuganda abamu ku bataafiibwako. Bwe tunaabaleka ne bagenda nga bwe batambula, balina obusobozi okufuuka abasinga obungi, eggwanga lino ne balifuula eggwanga eritasoboka. Kya buvunaanyizibwa okubayambako wakati mu mitawaana gye balina okufaanako na buli omu. Era njagala nkugambe nti bw'oba oyagala okutegeera nti ensi erina ebizibu bingi, ndagaayo malayika omu nkubulira ebizibu ebimwetoolodde. N'olwekyo kikulu nnyo omuntu yenna bw'agamba nti bannange neetaaga okuyambibwa aweebwe obudde asobole kubanga ali ensikini bw'omugoberera ne gy'abeera ne by'akola olabira ddala nga ebigendererwa bye birungi naye nga tamanyi kyakkola. Akati ndowooza si kya makulu, si kya buvunaanyizibwa okugamba nti mumuleke abo ensi yabavaako yabata. Tebalinayo nsi yaabwe nti naffe tulina eyaffe gye tusibira ettaayi. Kitundu kya bannayuganda bawa omusolo, beetaaga okuyambibwa babeera ate bannayuganda basingako nga bwe tubalaba. Era njagala okumusaba ne banne ebyo bye bayiseemu ebeere lesson, kubeere kuyiga kw'amaanyi, bayambibwe. Bajja kuganyulwa nnyo ne mu bitone byabwe nga bongedde okubeera abantu abalambulukufu mu mbeera zaabwe. Waliwo eyagala kati ebisinde bikolebwa kino ne muvaamu kino ne mudda mu kiri. Njagala kubategeeza nti ekisooka, ebisinde tebiteekebwawo kubeera bya lubeerera. Ebisinde bikolebwa okubaako bye bituukiriza mu kiseera ekigere era birina okuba nga bivaawo. Buli bw'osanga ekisinde nga kya lubeerera omanya nti kirina bigendererwa bya makulu. Ekisinde kirina okubeera nga kirina ebigendererwa birina okutuukiriza mu kiseera ekigere, bwe biggwa oba bituukiriziddwa era ne kivaawo. Ekibiina ky'ebyobufuzi ekirina okuzimbibwa okubeerawo ebbanga lyonna, kirere abaana n'abazzukulu. Naye n'ebibiina tubirabye nga bivaawo olw'enkola y'abakulembeze baabyo, olw'embeera y'ebyobufuzi okukyuka, ebipya ne bizaalibwa era ne bibeerawo. N'olwekyo tewaliwo omuntu yenna alina kukwasa munnayuganda yenna nsonyi ng'anoonya ekyo ekikola era ng'asuulawo ekitakola. Tewali nsonga ekubeeza mu nnimiro nga kasooli wamu n'ogamba musigaddemu bisoolisooli ate ng'olina kubiggyamu oteekemu kasooli omupya. Ndowooza okuggyako nga toli mulima ng'ogenze kwesiiga ttaka mu nnimiro. So kye tukola tukitegeera, era bw'obanga ogoberera ebyafaayo by'ebyobufuzi ne bannabyabufuzi abasobodde okubako bye bakyusa, ekyo tekyewalika. Naddala wano mu Africa bitonnaba kuzimba misingi minywevu gya kuzimbirako bibiina bya bufuzi nga tufugibwa bannakyemali abatakkiriza mu nkola egoberera amateeka, nga tufugibwa abantu abeerowoozaako bokka. Okuzimba ebibiina by'obufuzi ebinywevu kitwala ebbanga, kijja kutwala ebbanga, naye buli kintu kibeerako entandikwa. N'olwekyo bannadda n'abalala bava mu bisinde eby'enjawulo, ekyo kirina bakwasa nsonyi. Nga bwe njogedde, mbawadde ebyokulabirako, mugende mutandika okunoonya buli muntu engeri gy'atambuddemu abasobodde okubaako bye bakola mu byobufuzi. So n'olwekyo emboozi y'abatamanyi, ndowooza ansa ngibawadde, bagende bagyebuulirireko. Mwebale nnyo. How the opposition should work or is working, ought to have worked, is back on table. A departure from a rather normative past. So it's very important that the opposition in Uganda is being debated and discussed by all in both normative and positive ways. That for us is absolutely okay. We also appreciate the feedback from the general public, including the feedback from the traditional detractors and naysayers. We appreciate it. That feedback enables us to work better. That feedback, negative or positive, enables us to think about tomorrow in a better way. And we have no doubt on this side that whatever we do that we thrust in the public domain will attract a response in whatever form. And therefore, we appreciate the feedback. We want to tell the world that whatever we said on that day, we are not a drunken lot. We do not abuse any substances. We meant it, and we mean it. And you're here to tell the world that that announcement remains valid, and we are here to clarify a few issues that could have been misconstrued that day, and also following the various interactions with the public media regarding that day. One of the key issues we want to inform the country today is that as the national coordinator, I have written to all registered political groups, political platforms. I've written to them to communicate to them with clarity how we want to work with them and invite them for an interaction. We are asking them to offer us an independent interaction inter alia as political parties, as pressure groups, so that we can explain to each other our preferred approach. So, by the end of the week, every known platform would have received a letter of our intention to engage. And when they invite us for that engagement, we shall inform you as to the outcomes of that engagement. So we have done that communication, and I have signed it off as the national coordinator. Thirdly, at the turn of the year, we intend to go on the road to the entire country. We shall reach the every length and breadth of this country to speak to the people on two issues that are germane to our public engagement. One, the issue of political and electoral reforms that we believe is a matter that has been wrongly or poorly handled by both the group in power and the political opposition. We want to engage the public. We want the public to be part of this conversation because we have hardly a year before we can begin thinking about polls. And we don't want to go to the polls in the same shape we have been into over the last 2-3 electoral cycles. So we want the general public that so much desires to see something better and different to be involved. So we shall communicate to you our voted program in terms of time, date, and space or place at the turn of the year as part of the DA outreach activities. This we shall do, and we shall inform you in the coming days. Fourth, to clarify once again, in the excitement of the launch, there could have been sections of the public that probably never understood with the utmost clarity, what the DA is about. I have had people, including well-schooled media practitioners, congratulating me for launching a political party. And I thought it is a forgivable misconstruction. And I'm here to clarify, namely, that we did not launch a political party, but we launched a civic platform, a non-partisan and all-inclusive civic platform, to engage it in two major issues which I talked about. Probably they were never picked because when you speak with a raised voice, easily you can be misinterpreted. The DA is never meant to be a permanent issue platform. It is a platform of passage to address two major issues in this country. One, electoral reforms, but two, opposition, the joint opposition platform. Because we believe that the opposition has missed opportunities to work together. There were attempts hitherto. You remember the 2016 attempt under the TDA that never yielded any results. Of course, some of us were active, fully remember and recollect the circumstances under which the TDA was undermined and failed to deliver the results anticipated. But we also know that since then, the opposition variously has been leaking swoons for the missed opportunity. Because nobody is stepping up to summon, to reach out, to roll out a carpet for all and sundry in the opposition, we are stepping forward. And in doing so, we don't need anybody's permission to do that, because we are part of the broad national polity that cares, and we believe we should be able to speak to everyone, including characters and groups we diametrically disagree. But for the sake of giving our people and our country an opportunity to transition, we will speak to them to find a way of agreeing on a workable framework, which is why we said that the DA is transitory. Eventually, the DA and the actors, the initial actors in the DA, will want to transform into an electoral platform. Any issues regarding political and electoral reforms will be discussed. And in my space and the capacity, our rally colleagues in Parliament, and we have these issues on the floor. These issues will not be finalized until the Parliament of the Republic has had a conversation and a final say on them. If Parliament fails to offer leadership on reforms, then the people will know what to do. What they will do is not my preserve. Probably it will be an outcome of the nature of a consultative outreach we intend to undertake. I appreciate you.